What's up, guys? This is Doctor, and welcome to another episode of the FPL Fantasy. Thank you for the support that you guys have shown on the last episode. We are targeting to hit 100 subscribers soon. We are currently on 30. So if you enjoy our content, go right now and press the subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Of course, we cannot do this episode without my co-host, the thumbnail goat. If you've seen our thumbnails, here's the creator, here's the genius of making them. Joe, how are you?
I would like to imagine that this says like team thumbnail or something on it. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm glad everybody is enjoying the thumbnails. I know I've gotten a couple shout outs on Twitter about them. I'm excited to be here on, once again, FPL Fantasy, here to talk about some transfers in game week 22. Also, oh my gosh, how about those postponements? How about those injuries? How about the crazy stuff that is going on in the community? It's unreal, but I'm excited to get into it, and hopefully we can talk about a couple players that are gonna bang for us and for our viewers.
We have top 5 transfer ins you should target. Some of them are logical, some of them we recommend you bring them, some of them are punty. So if you are in high ranks in the top million, top 2 millions, top 3 millions, you can gain ground by bringing them in. Joe will target 3, so the first one, the third one, and the fifth one Joe will talk about mostly, and I'll handle the second and the fourth one. So Joe, would you like to get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so number 1, as Doc mentioned, I'm going to be handling number 1 right now. I have Lucas Mora. I think he is a fantastic option given the fact that we don't have Son. Kane, I don't think Kane in his current form can do it all on his own, and there are some incredible defensive assets on the Spurs team. The other thing that I want to mention is Mora also, even though he has a couple games that are 20-minute appearances, 9-minute appearances, most of his appearances I believe are 90-minute full appearances, and that's when he gets points. I think we can be extremely confident in a double game week he's going to come in, and on the season he has an expected return per X amount of minutes of 92, I think, 0.3 minutes, which is one of the best. And I think he's going to see a lot of balls coming across the box where he can just put in a nice little sitter. What do you think about that, Doc?
I like the shot of Lucas Moura, especially with Son out, so he might occupy that left-hand side where Emerson keeps crossing. And I think he's going to be a great transfer in if you bring him into your team.
The one thing that I do want to mention is there are 2 tough fixtures in 23 and 26, but I don't think that that's anything to deter you completely away from Lucas Moura. Also, if you're planning out for 26 and you don't think your plan's going to change, you haven't been paying attention the last 2 seasons or even the last month. So don't worry about that far out just yet. All right, Doc, we got your selection next, Mr. Ronaldo.
I've tweeted a few days ago about Mr. Ronaldo since Ranić joined. Ronaldo versus the second highest Man United. So basically, there are statistics that show that Ronaldo, for example, took 19 attempts and the second highest Man United player has taken 8. I think in this case is Cavani. Penalty area touches 35 to 19. Minutes per XGI is phenomenal. Big chances are phenomenal. I like Ronaldo as a shot because I think he's the standout option for this game week as a captain. But I can't think of many captainable options beside Ronaldo. People are saying that Manchester United are not in form and the team is playing terrible. Yes, we are playing terrible. But if you heard about what Ranić said, he's planning to change formation possibly to get away from the 4-2-2 because he's planning to have a third midfielder. So there is an opportunity for a Fernandes back as a punt. Maybe he becomes an option in FPL, so we're really hoping so, yes. However, I like Ronaldo because of the supply he gets and because of the amount of shots he takes, and at the end, it is Ronaldo. I know the team is not in form. However, you do not need the team to be in form to score well in FPL. I think Ronaldo will score well for FPL, even if Manchester United loses or draws 2-2. I can see Ronaldo scoring 2 goals this double game week. Famous last words. But I can see Ronaldo scoring very well this game week, and I like him as a captain option. So he's, for me, a prioritized transfer in. Joe?
Yeah, I think actually in my team, I am giving Ronaldo the armband right now. Definitely you want to look at attacking assets on Manchester United, which that's what Ronaldo is. Defensively, all things considered, I would expect Manchester United to start a game out 1 goal down already, because that is their 0-0. They are a 0-1 team. You know they're going to give up at least
Thank you,
one
Joe.
goal. Hey, I love them too. But I very much feel about them how I felt about Spurs last year, where you know they're going to give up 1 goal, unfortunately. And if you're looking for a defensive asset, the one that I would look at is David De Gea. He's going to be the guy that's going to be getting saves. He's kind of had a firing range on him, but I think Ronaldo is definitely the guy that you want. Question for you, it hasn't really deterred me much. Are you concerned about Ronaldo and his hip injury? I know he was set this last FA Cup game, I believe it was. A lot of people were speculating, hey, is it a bad injury? Is it he just needed a break? How are you feeling about that?
Ranić actually mentioned today that he's back and he's not injured anymore. Many people are speculating that it was kind of an excuse to rest him through the FA Cup because you cannot really bench Ronaldo because of his profile, because of his background, because of his price tag, and all those issues. So a lot of people are speculating that it might have been just a reason to rest him, and he's absolutely fine. Another reason why I love Ronaldo is because of the fixtures, because it's a long-term transfer and it's not a short-term transfer. Yes, he has a double game week versus a tough Aston Villa team, but also he has Brentford, who are shipping goals despite their statistics. And also they have West Ham, Burnley, Southampton, Leeds, Watford, so you can see all the sea of green until game week 27. So I like Ronaldo as a transfer, and not only for this double game week, but because it's a longer term plan.
Side note, my heart goes out to Brentford's goalkeeper. That own goal that he had on him, I saw that. It crushed me as a former goalkeeping coach. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss on Ronaldo, or should we get into number 3?
Let's get to the next player, Joe.
All right, next player, Emmanuel Dennis. Kind of a combo player, Dennis or King. If you have one and you have like a Ronaldo or a Kane, and there's not enough money to switch to the next one, more than valid to go to a Dennis King combo up front. Regardless, you know you're going to get points. Dennis, what more can be said? I've gushed about Dennis nonstop since we started this pod, since XG versus XGrass was a thing. He's my guy. Now, I'm not going to captain him. I have a little more faith in my high-end captains. Like I mentioned, I'm probably going to be looking at Ronaldo this week. Maybe Dennis gets the vice captain, but he's not going to be my number 1. So don't think because I'm gushing about Dennis, I think he's going to score 20, 30, 40 points every single week for me. I'm realistic. I understand he's probably going to get 1 return in a double. Maybe he gets 2 returns, which seems great, but I think there's a higher chance of that happening with somebody like Ronaldo. And Dennis's XG is finally starting to catch up with his skill now that he's playing central. Had to throw Dennis on there. I'm sure everybody at least has one of Dennis or King, but I would say don't cross off the second one. It's a good opportunity. How about you, Doc? You switching to Team Dennis here?
Well, I have King in my team, and I'm not going to waste the transfer moving to Dennis. Again, famous last words. But I think if I had choice right now and have a free hit, and I know that Dennis is going to start both matches, I'm going to definitely go for Dennis, because Ranieri seems like he prefers Dennis as a central role, and he pushes King to the left side. He did play kind of a sort of a 4-4-2 in the last game before subbing Dennis for Joao Pedro. But I like Dennis, especially if Dennis starts as a striker. He's also the type of player who's a bit selfish. He likes to take shots, and I like that in a player with FPL. This shows with Ronaldo as well. He takes shots from whenever it's possible. So I think Dennis is kind of similar. He takes shots whenever it's possible. He doesn't look for the pass first. He looks for the shot first. So this is more of a grass FC analysis. So I like Dennis at this point, especially if he plays centrally. I totally agree with you, Joe.
And I think something that you mentioned there was Dennis did get subbed off for Joao Pedro, I think fairly early in their last game. If I remember right, though, it was more of a precautionary thing than anything else. And if there was a little bit of a knock, don't forget game week 21, I don't even know what game week we're in, very much like the year. Game week 21 has been like 6 months long. So he's had time to go through physio, he's had time to recover. He's good to go. I wouldn't worry about any injury that he picked up in the first half of game week 21, if any injury. So I think we're safe there with Dennis. So Doc are going to go into the Leicester team here. What are you looking at as far as your Leicester assets?
I have Son in my team and I'm planning to transfer him out. So I was looking at Leicester assets, possible Leicester assets to get in. I made this comparison between 4 possible players to bring in. And I think that I like Maddison the most. From the statistical point of view, he's first for goal attempts, crosses, and corners. Among those 4 options, he's second for penalty area touches, chances created, and BPS baseline. I explain a lot why I like looking at BPS baseline on my Twitter account. And he's third for minutes per XGI, which is not a great statistic to see. But I think Maddison is guaranteed starter whenever he's fit. The other 3 are not really guaranteed starter. Maybe Tielemans is more guaranteed. So if you ask me who's your second favorite option, is Tielemans, because I like my players that I have guaranteed starters, especially in this climate that we are facing with the postponements, with the people missing out. I'd like to have guaranteed minutes from my players. So I think my first choice will be Maddison, especially when it comes to goal attempts. He likes to shoot even from far away. Like I said, I like my players who take decent shots, and he has a really nice finesse on him. So I see him scoring a free kick here and there, or taking a corner or from across, and he gets an assist. So I like Maddison as an option. Maybe second option is Tielemans. Harvey Barnes has a lot of touches in the penalty area box. So why not, Joe?
Yeah, I had him in at the beginning of the year. He's that ex-girlfriend you keep going back to and keeps hurting you. No, he's out. He's out. He's gone. He's not even on the team.
We take Joe's word. Forget Harvey Barnes. So Lookman, if you like a punt, but this is a nice segue. Lookman's minutes might be in jeopardy because our next player might be risking Lookman's minutes. Joe?
Yeah, I definitely like the analysis that you did on the Leicester assets, because that's something that personally I've kind of struggled with, and I know a little bit in the community people have gone back and forth on. Does Tielemans having possibly pens help his case at all? I know that's something that I sent to you last night when we were talking about this video.
I think he's a very good choice. If you wouldn't go to Maddison, or if you don't have the money, Tielemans is 0.5 cheaper, so you might go for Tielemans. The penalties are extremely helpful. In the table, he's second for goal attempts as well, so he takes a lot of shots. His minutes per XGI are actually one of the better ones in this table, so he has the statistics and he passes the eye test and he has penalties. I think he's a great shout. So if you cannot push to Maddison, I think Tielemans is a great shout.
Yeah, I definitely like him. If I decide to go for a midfielder, I think personally I might go for Tielemans.
And Tielemans has the highest BPS baseline, so in case for any bonus points distribution, he's likely to gain some points, and also he's highest for chances created, so he will get you an assist here and there. I think Tielemans is a great shout, yes.
All right, moving into the 5th option here, we have Daka is a little bit of a wild card. We just got done talking about the Leicester midfielders there. Daka hasn't seen a ton of playtime this season, but I think playtime is due for him. They don't have a functioning, healthy forward. Nacho's out at AFCON. Vardy's injured for some amount of time. We have Maddison sitting in the middle. He could always slide up and play that more attacking role, but he's got a little bit of injury on him. Whether he's completely over it or it's going to be something he's going to try and play through a little bit throughout this double, we'll see. Tielemans, he could play up top, but I don't think he's going to take that position. I think Daka is going to get some good time, and I think he's going to get some good points for us. Also, if you look at his history of just games that he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, and one of them is a 90, another one is a 77 minute, but he has returned in 4 out of the 7 games there. I think you're more guaranteed historically and with the way that he plays to get a return here, and I think that chance is even higher now that a lot of the attacking assets that Leicester would usually play through and go to, they aren't available anymore. He's going to be much more of that point guy, so maybe he gets his second double-digit return of the season. I don't know. we'll have to see. Obviously, you know, the stats aren't super kind to him just because he does have a very short sample size, but I'm excited to see him play hopefully more over this upcoming week. How do you think about Daka, Doc?
I think it's a great shout for a punt, like I said, if you're trying to jump ranks. If you have an attacking spot available, especially this game week, there are people who don't have attacking spots because you either have King or Dennis or maybe even both, Ronaldo, Kane. But if you have this attacking spot, I think he's a great shout. But aren't you worried about his injury? He's just back from injury. Aren't you worried that he might miss out on some minutes?
It was something that deterred me a little bit from talking about him, but honestly, once again, game week 21 has been a couple months long, and I don't think he deters me any further as far as injuries go than Mads would. I just look at the situation that ceiling is so much higher as a possibility with Daka, and Daka doesn't really have any competition up front aside from if they decide to throw Mads or one of the other midfielders up there kind of as like a false nine position.
I like that as a punt. All right, guys, those are our top 5 transfer ends for this double game week 22. Let us know what you think in the comments down below or on our Twitter account. Do not forget to subscribe. We have amazing content coming up, especially next week. We have something big planned for you. So press that subscription button. Let us reach 200 subscribers. We'll really appreciate it. Joe?
Like Doc said, make sure that you like, you subscribe. We do have some interesting and big content ahead for you, especially this next upcoming video. I think everybody's gonna love it. I'm excited to get into it. So don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, comment, tweet at us, message us on Twitter. If there's anything you want to see covered, we're here, we're open ears.
All right, guys, we'll see you on the next episode.
All right, everyone. Peace. Have a good one.